to our channel. Today's video guys ay gagawa ng homemade pizza. Yung asawa ko, finally napapayag ko siya na while he's doing or while he's making pizza, videohan ko siya. Buti pumayag kasi grab the opportunity na hindi siya shy. See you a little bit. Babalik po kami pag ready na.
Hey everybody, we're going to do some pizza crust today. So I'm going to go over, start with the ingredients and the tools that you're going to need. And then I'm going to go through the instructions and kind of show you some of the techniques I use. Start off with, you're going to need, you can see this right here. Probably can't read my writing very well. But you're going to need 2 1/3 cups bread flour. I prefer bread flour. A packet of instant yeast, usually they're 2 1/4 teaspoons. 1 1/2 teaspoons of sugar, 3/4 teaspoons of salt, maybe some spices if you want that. I usually use this little Italian blend that I got at Boscow, but I mean oregano, basil, something like that. You're gonna need at least 2 tablespoons of olive oil, probably a little bit more than that because you're gonna also line the pans and stuff with it. And then you're going to need 3/4 cups of warm water. Now, as far as what you're going to use, you definitely need about a 4 1/2 quart bowl. This is my favorite one. I can do everything I need with this one bowl, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Wooden spatula, a sturdy one, because you're going to be stirring actual like pizza dough with this. So make sure that it's not one of those thin types. And I like the ones that have the edge like this, so that you can kind of get the edges of the bowl as you're stirring and get all the little pieces together. You're going to need some measuring spoons. You're going to need a measuring cup. I like to use the same cup. To do that, you're going to have to wipe it out at least once, but no big deal. Makes it less cleanup. And then pizza pan, 12 plus inches. I mean, I think this is a little more than 12 inches, but paper to line the pan with. Or if you like to really knead the dough, that's up to you. I don't usually do it. Because in pressing it out, it gets kneaded as much as it needs to be. Anyways, let's get started with the instructions. So, first step, you're going to combine your flour, your yeast, your sugar, your salt, and any spices if you decide to add those. You're going to put all that together first of all, and then you're going to add your wet ingredients. So, we'll start with 1 cup of bread flour. Now, obviously, you're not going to put all the flour in at once, so this first step, as you measure the 1 cup out, remember I said it was 2 1/3 cups of flour. You're going to be adding more flour as you go. But right now, we're going to start with 1 cup. Let's see, olive oil. Brand new bottle. Like I said, 2 tablespoons. Alright, and I'm done with the measuring cups, so I'm going to stick them in the sink. 4 cups of water. See, not quite steaming, but warm. Alright, so why that's important. Yeast. In this case, you want the yeast to rise so you get your fluffy pizza dough. I learned through trial and error that hot water was not the way to go, because you got basically cracker crust because it doesn't rise, it kills the yeast off. This is a point where you really want to mix everything together, give that yeast a chance to start breaking stuff down and fluffing up this dough. So before you move on to this next step of adding more flour, you want to make sure this is well mixed. Very important. Makes everything way simpler on cleanup when you use less stuff, which is why in the original recipe, which I got off the internet, they were saying transfer from bowl to bowl, transfer to your counter. I cut a lot of those steps out simply because you really don't need to do those steps, and I like less cleanup. So generally, from experience, one more cup isn't quite enough. So I'm going to put more than a cup into here. I'm going to put just a little bit more than that. And then if it needs more, I'll just add some from the bag. But you're going to do this until you feel like the dough is really kind of formed into a ball. And based on, you know, the heat of what you put in with the water and basically the humidity of the air and stuff like that, it might be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the day. So I'm going to put a little bit in, and then I'm going to do, like I said, I'm just going to cut it in, move it around, stir it in. It's going to start to firm up. I've gotten to the point where I put in all the flour that I measured out, and it's still, as you can see, very sticky, not coming off the spatula. It's still stuck to the walls, so I'm going to add more. Basically, just keep doing this until it becomes a cohesive ball that just doesn't completely stick to everything it touches. It's getting close, but it's not quite there yet. And we're getting close to the point where I'm going to add some olive oil, roll it up into, okay, I think we're close right now. I think I could probably put my hands on it and not lose my ring, although I already took my ring off. Yeah, we're getting there. Cool. Right, so now that it's unstuck from the walls and one cohesive ball, this is where I'm going to get a little bit dirty. I'm going to put a little bit of this olive oil on my hands. Kind of rub it all over so that I don't have any sticky spots, and try to get everything off the spatula. Because I like all my dough. Alright, and then I'm going to pour a little bit on top, and then put a little more in my hand. Oop, almost got it everywhere. Rub it around the edges. And what I like to do at this point, you can kind of see there's still a little bit of dough stuck to the edge right here. I just use the olive oil to kind of peel that up, roll it back into the whole ball. Yeah, no, I'm kind of gluttonous that way. But basically at this point, your dough's formed. You kind of want to roll it around in this olive oil, get it coated, pick up the last little bits, get it all into the one ball, and then you're going to set it aside to rise.
For your toppings, you can choose whatever you want.
Yeah, what she said. But commissary, which we have the privilege of being able to use, had a special on some basically uncured bacon, I think is what this is. Thin sliced pig meat. Yeah. So I'm gonna heat that up. It's already been Grace cooked it the other day in the oven, but I'm kind of recooking because it stayed soft. It didn't get crispy, and I want to make sure it's cooked all the way through before we put it on a pizza, because toppings, you don't want to cook your toppings as you're cooking your pizza, because sometimes they won't get cooked and the pizza will burn. So I'm going to get this going, see if it gets a little grease going, and then I'm going to add these onions in, because we're going to do kind of a barbecue style pizza. We're going to have some onions, some bacon, and then we're going to add some of this chicken. And instead of doing a traditional sauce, we're going to use a barbecue sauce on our pizza, which is kind of my favorite. I love the chicken and barbecue sauce on a pizza. It's great. Hey folks, so as you can see, our dough has risen. It is about twice the size of the dough I had before. So since I'm going to be working with the dough, I like to coat my hands in the olive oil, since I pretty much want the dough to be coated in olive oil and it keeps it from sticking as much. I've already cut the parchment paper to fit the pan size. So here we go. I'm just going to take it. And in the original recipe it said, you know, flour a surface and knead the dough. It really doesn't need all of that. It's ready to go as is. Just take the lump, stick it in the middle, and spread it as evenly as possible out to the edges. Like, just press. You can tell it's extra fluffy today, so I must have gotten that temperature on the water just perfect. Hey folks, take a look. It's all spread out to the edges. Didn't get off my parchment paper, so that's good. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go give it a little bit of a pre-bake, about 3 minutes in the oven, to make sure that the surface gets a little bit cooked. That way I can add the sauce and it won't meld in with the pizza crust and then turn into a soggy mess in the middle. But a little quick pre-bake of about 3 minutes. Hey everybody, so you can see as you look at it, it started to form up. See some bubbles forming. This is a great time to pull it out. The surface is set pretty decent, so your sauce isn't going to turn into part of the crust. So as you notice, there's a couple bubbles here. It doesn't hurt to pop those right now so they don't turn into a problem later. This is a great method. Instead of just poking the whole pizza, you kind of just find the places where it's a little overdone with the bubbles. Good to go. All right, now we're gonna do our sauce. Like I said, we're doing a barbecue pizza today, so I'm gonna do a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's, my favorite. Now I'm not a huge, I don't like it very saucy, so I don't put too much on. That's probably more than enough. Use a little brush to kind of even it out, get it in all the spaces. Whew, maybe should have kept it in just slightly longer than I did, but I was too excited. So. But I like a lot of cheese, so kind of spread it out. Try not to go over the edge. Ready to go. We'll put it in for 8 minutes and check on it, and then we'll look and see. Sometimes I've had them go in for as long as 15 minutes. It seems like a little bit excessive. Usually that means it's a little bit burnt somewhere. So it's been around 8 minutes. If you look, you can kind of see on the right side that crust is starting to get a little darker. Left side's a little bit lighter colored, but it is starting to turn brown. But you can see the darkening of the cheese on top. And if you let that go too long, then you got burnt cheese. So we're about ready to take this out. Aha! Time. Don't burn your mouth, it's hot.
The moment of truth.
With an F. Ooh. Comes apart. Yeah, I don't eat pizza this hot because it burns my mouth. Good. The crust is falling apart. Perfect.
What?
The crust's all falling apart.
I have to wait.
Is it done?
Yeah.
You gotta give it time. Give it a few more minutes so the cheese can stay on the pizza.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah, good. Hope you like this video, guys. If you like this video, please like and don't forget to subscribe. Bye. Paalam.